B, C is the determinant. Okay, so let's do the first one. Okay, find the determinant of A. Remember, all you're doing to find the determinant of A is multiplying these two, which is the A and D, and subtracting the multiplication of these two. So 3 times 6 minus 2 times 1, 16. Pretty straightforward. Okay. Part B, it's inverse. Now, using the rule, it's 1 divided by the determinant. So 1 divided by the 16, because that's what we found. We swap the 6 and 3, its position, and the other two numbers become negative. So I've swapped. I didn't swap it there, but I'm just showing you that that is the matrix, and I'm working out the inverse. So swap the 6 and the 3, that's what I've done, and the other two numbers become negative. They stay in their position, but they become negative. So is everyone happy up to there?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, part C says X, if A times X equals 5, 6, 7, 2. So A times X equals this matrix. Now, if we're finding X, we have to get rid of this matrix A. The only way to get rid of a matrix is to times it by its inverse, because when you times a matrix by its inverse, it equals the identity matrix, which is the matrix 1, 0, 0, 1, which acts as like number 1 for maths, all right, numbers. Now, the only way to do it is to put it in front over here, okay? And therefore, if I put it in front on this side, I have to put it in front of the other side over here as well. So that's why I've got it in front there. Is everyone happy there? Okay. That, of course, A times its inverse is number 1, so we're just left with X. The inverse of A, we know, is 1 on 16. 6, negative 2, negative 1, 3, which I've written there, and I've still got this matrix right next to it. Don't bring in the 1 on 16. That's a ridiculous thing to do. The first thing you should do is multiply these out. So 6 times 5 is 30. Negative 2 times 7 is negative 14. 30 minus 14 is 16. Then do the same with the next column. 6 times 6 and negative 2 times 4. Add them together, that gives us 32. Now do the next line. Negative 1 times 5 and 3 7s. So 21 minus 5, 16. Negative 6 and 6, 0. And now bring in the 16. So 16, we're going to divide all these numbers by 16. So we get 1, 2, 1, 0. So we found matrix X. Questions there? Okay, they say why. Now, if YA equals the same thing. Now, a lot of students believe that you're going to get the same answer because the 5, 6, 7, 2 is the same as what we did here. But matrix A is after the one we're trying to find here. So when I multiply its inverse, I have to do it after it. So that's what I'm doing there. I'm getting this inverse and I'm doing after it. I can put the 1 on 16 first. That doesn't matter, but as long as the whole matrix is after. I could have written it in here, and then I just would have moved it at the front. Okay, so then I work this out. And when I work this out, there's the answers I get. Then I divide all these answers by 16. And see, they are two different answers, even though we're doing the same matrix and the same inverse. So depending whether you do it at the front or at the behind it, you'll get different answers. Any questions there? Okay, example 2. All right, I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes to do this. Okay, do this one over here. I will, how do I stop the video for now? I don't want to stop it completely. Let me just stop the sharing. Oh, no. You know what, I'll just do it. You guys can talk me through it. Okay, first one says a transformation is defined by the equation T, and then in brackets X plus B equals X dash. These are all matrices. T, they give us T. They give us the B. Find the image of the straight line with the equation Y equals negative 2x plus 6 under this transformation. Okay, so let's put in these things. let's put in the T and the B where they are. So that's what I'm going to do, get my blue up. Okay, so really I've got 0, 1, -3 and 0, brackets, my X. Now my X and my X dash, X is our X and Y, so I'm going to write it as X and Y. My X dash is my X dash Y dash, but I'm up to here at the moment, so then I've got plus B, -1 and 2, close my bracket, equals my X dash Y dash. So I must do inside the bracket first, okay? Everything falls into place. So this must be done first. So I've still got my 0, 1, -3, 0 on the outside. And this will be X minus 1 and Y plus 2. And that will equal my X dash Y dash. Okay. So now I'm going to multiply this row by this column. So 0 times all that, it's still going to give me 0. 1 times the Y plus 2. So I get the Y plus 2, and that equals X dash, because I'm doing the top line here and must equal the top line here. And therefore Y equals X dash minus 2. Now I'm going to do this one by the row. -3 times the X. So I get -3 X minus 1 plus 0 times the Y plus 2 is 0, so forget about that. And that second equals the second one here, which is my Y dash. Okay, doesn't matter how you do it. I'm going to go X minus 1 equals Y dash divided by my -3, and therefore X equals -Y dash divided by 3, and I'm going to add my 1. So I found my Y and my X. So image of Y equals -2X plus 6 is, okay, Y, X dash minus 2 equals -2, my X minus Y dash over 3 plus 1 plus my 6. Okay, I'll get rid of the dashes. And at the same time, I'm going to bring the -6 across, and I'll get X minus 8 equals -2 minus Y over 3 plus 1. Divide by the -2. And at the same time, because that has now gone, I'm going to move the +1 to the other side, and it'll become -1. I'll simplify this now, and then I will times by the -3. So this will become negative, when I times it by -2. So that's a -2 there. So this will be -2 times -2 there. I'll get my X minus 8. This is a +2. -8 plus 2 is -6 divided by -2 equals my -Y divided by 3. Okay, times by -3. So I get Y equals, don't know what I'm going to write. I think I'll just rub it out. There we go. Y equals -3X minus 6 divided by -2. Of course, I can, simplify that even more so. I can go, right, Y equals 3X minus 18 divided by 2. Okay, because the negatives will cancel. Any questions there?
So we just sub it in once we find it from the transformation?
Yep. Once you find your
Okay.
X's and Y's, substitute it in and go back and solve for Y. It's basically all you're doing. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the chapter.